What's up everybody, it's Critical. I'm playing Attack on Titan for the PC. Let's do this shit. Now I started up the game and I went to get my recording software loaded, and this sentient piece of Play-Doh's been trying to give me the business ever since. Well, it seems he's figured out how to take a step forward. Now I need to figure out how to restart. Or it could just roll like this. I've still got my arms with their swords ready to chop shit down. Spraying blood for camouflage. Smokescreen. Oh, there we go. Alright. Now, I know this game is based on a cartoon of the same name. I haven't seen the cartoon, but I have attacked my toilet like a titan before. I'm gonna take this marshmallow down at the legs. Come here, bitch. You may have fire in your hands, but I have fire in my heart. What a bastard. No one fights with honor, I see. Alright. Alright, what are the controls? Is it just WASD and the left mouse? Because if that's all there is to the controls, I might as well just start taking my own limbs off, save the giants the trouble. Chopping at their legs is not going to do much. How about space? Alright, there we go. Space fires some type of rubber band, that's good. That's not good, the rubber band is entering his asshole, exiting his dick hole. We're moving in on the target, here you go, take some of this. Oh yeah. Oh shit. Spider-Man is at the scene. Call the Daily Bugle. Oh fuck, oh shit. I'm suspended in the air. And Stone Cold Steve Austin's trying to pin me. What happened? Did I sneeze too hard? Nobody hit me. I see my dildo string is still hanging from the building, impaling his thigh. Alright, let's rock and roll again. Alright. Q fires 1. Excellent. Found that out trying to move forward with the W key. Sometimes accidents can lead to incredible discoveries and creations. Take, for example, Post-it notes and the Powerpuff Girls. Sugar, spice, Chemical X. Taking a shit, drinking Windex. Time to play this really stealthily. Just gonna sneak in over here, give him a high five with my sword. Alright, I've been spotted. Covert operation. Abort. We're going in hot. Oh, damn it. Shit. He's got a vagina on his neck. Oh, here we go, going right for the face. Save money on tissues by letting me stab you in the nose. Oh shit. Looks like a Matryoshka doll. This creature has titties on its back. That is interesting. I'm gonna take a guess and say the vagina on its neck is its weak spot. I don't know why that building fell over, but it's my responsibility to pick it up. That is a tripping hazard and I must rectify the issue. Excuse me. Oh, fuck. What the fuck? How did you know I was there? Did they have GPS? Hey, dumbass, you forgot to eat my legs. What a fucking amateur. Yeah, it must have been spicy. He's breathing fire now. Let's try a different approach. I'm gonna attack from the air. They'll never expect it. They trust air, but they don't trust. Oh, shit. Well, I don't trust this building. That's what I don't trust. What the fuck? This building's not even real. Oh, wow. What a fucking master hunter. He set up a fake building and then attacked me when I tried to grapple to it. That is not someone you want to shit with. That right there is someone you want to shit away from. We're going in hot. Tons of speed. Can't handle the Oh, fuck. I hit reset, damn it. Alright, we'll just go again. Same strategy. Nothing but speed. Damn it, the speed has disappeared. We're going in for the kill, fuck it. Game on! Oh, this is a good angle. Oh, I'm in its anus. Oh no, there I am. Go, you finger puppet. Show him how it's done. I'm seeing inside of it. And it's hollow. An empty shell looking for a purpose. But you only find my sword. Oh, what the fuck? This is ridiculous. I thought I had it that time. Perfect. The top of the building does not exist. Oh fuck, ambush. Oh good, its arm is stuck in the building, now's my chance. Strike while the iron is hot. Oh, this is it right here, perfect angle. So they don't have any elbows. I mean, that's just what it boils down to. Oh, well, I may have lost the battle, but it seems I've won the war. I took out its vision. Impaled its eyes, alright. You are my primary target, come here. Don't try and run away. You won't. Holy shit. I got one. That's right, bitch. Oh well. Sinking through the ground, I suppose, is how any giant should exit. Let's get 31 more of those. That ought to be easy. Here's my next target. A little bigger than the last. Too easy. It's too easy now. I've got it under control. Look at this combo. Oh, shit. No, what? This is a load of phlegm. I finally get 2 in a row. Then I have belly flop then drop come out of nowhere to be the hero. I will extract my... Oh, well. I guess I'll just go for a tour of the city. Well, this is odd. It looks like it's trying to find its purse. Or have its way with this building. I'm just gonna try and sneak out of here. Oh, altitude decreasing. Damn it. Oh, wow. Jump through the building. It is determined. You think jumping through buildings is gonna be able to catch me? I'm too fast. Too high on this building. Relatively speaking, that is a rather large giant. Alright, I need to change locations. And quick. Alright, here we go. On the count of now. Oh, what the fuck? No! It is the ultimate chest bump! I'm defenseless. The prophecy is being fulfilled! Houston, we're coming in! I have an erection, it seems. Oh no, there we go. Just part of the string. Oh, it's coming for me again? Dodged it that time. Oh shit. Alright. This is a sticky situation. As Scooby-Doo would say. Oh fuck. They're getting closer. Blast off. Houston, we had a clean launch. My trousers are not. I'm going in. Holy shit, I got one. Run, fucking run, run. If I had escaped from that, I would have wrote a letter to some really smart people in this world, some scientists, telling them about it. They probably would have ignored the letter, but damn it, it would have been incredible. Absolutely incredible. Alright, well, I'm done playing this. Well, that's the end of this video. Remember to rate the video, comment the video, and subscribe if you want to see videos similar to this one. See ya. What's up, everybody? It's Critical. I'm playing Attack on Titan, well, let's do this shit. Now, I've seen the show. I watched it. I turned it on the television set, and I've watched the show before. And I enjoyed it. Thought it was good. What is going on with Eren? He's turned into a bobber. He's sinking into quicksand momentarily and then levitating out of it. I like that the garrison member is following each movement with his head. Getting a nice little neck stretch. No, please give me a moment. I'm not ready yet. Can't you see I'm busy? This man's got ping pong balls for eyes. Maybe even hard-boiled eggs. Golf balls, perhaps. He just looks like he's seeing into the future and he's shocked by what he's seeing. Green bean has been deployed. That's my signal. It's my call to arms. I don't give a fuck about side missions. Please, I'm trying to go save my friends. Can't you see they're in danger? If anime has taught anyone anything, it's that the power of friendship can overcome even the most insurmountable of odds. Fuck! They're probably texting me the tutorial now because they know I'm not reading it on the screen. Get fucking subjugated, though. Nerd. I'm coming, guys. Spider-Man's on his way. It's fucking shit! Be there lickety-split. I'm here. Yeah! Bingo, bango, bongo. I've saved my friends. I've fulfilled the anime lessons. Also, the bigger the tits, the more powerful the enemy, according to anime. It's another lesson that most people learn through anime. I don't even want to subjugate this one. Just a little toddler, a wee lad. He's just trying to see the world. Why do I have to kill this one? You know what? I don't have to. I'm my own man. Just have fun over here, buddy. I'll just keep my eye... Wow, what an asshole. He likes to play rough. That's okay. It's all part of growing up. We've all been through it growing up, you know. We slap our friends in the face, we punch them in the arms, we flick their penis heads, we twist their nipples, you know. It's just that horseplay, some roughhousing. He's just going through the stages right now. Now he's climbing an invisible object, doing a pretty well choreographed contortionist routine. I mean, I can't fault this guy. And then we're just circling him like fucking bees protecting their nest. He must be very confused right now, actually. But he's just, you know, he's just a little guy, just trying to have some fun out here, and I'm not gonna kill him for it. I'm not mad at him for it. Just do your thing over here, buddy. Until I go in real hard, yeah, take that shit, loser. Your price was way too high. I had to cut it. It's a rap reference. OT Genesis. Cut it. What's up, pussy fingers? You trying to catch this meat too? I'm gonna cut up the body parts in this guy. Get some extra points in there, some materials. Bingo bango. Right, let's get the other leg now. Looks like Vegeta a little bit. If Vegeta was taller and goofier and didn't even look like himself, really. There it is. Now I got a leg up on him. Oh. You know what? I respect that. He was striking while the iron's hot. He saw I was distracted and he capitalized on it. I like that. Man's a master tactician. And I could have gone with an even more obvious pun saying, it looks like it cost him an arm and a leg. But I didn't. Until I did. I hope everyone was ready for that real fresh pun. Really brought out the freshness there. I hope everyone had their vacuum sealed bags out because that freshness was too fresh. Why does this man look at me like this? You trying to... Oh shit! The biblical Beyblade body slam behemoth. Wow. Bah God. Alright, let's do this. I like how he's following me. Please, put it in my keister. I can hear your cries. And you know what, I'll do it. I'll fulfill it, yeah. Efficient subjugation, wow. Who would have known that the most efficient way to subjugate someone was riding their ass crack to their cheek, to their neck, not their cheek. It's like I don't even know basic human anatomy, when in reality nothing could be further from the truth. The amount of fucking time I spent in anatomy class is unheard of. Someone quiz me on that shit. You want to know about the blood pathway through the heart, huh? Alright, so you got deoxygenated blood coming in through the superior vena cava into the right atrium, travels through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle, then it goes up the pulmonary valve into the pulmonary artery, which carries the deoxygenated blood to the lungs. It's also the only artery to carry deoxygenated blood, and then from the lungs it goes in through the pulmonary veins, and that is also the only vein to carry oxygenated blood. Pulmonary veins from the lungs to the left atrium, goes through the mitral valve into the left ventricle, then it goes up to the aortic valve, and then to the aorta, and then throughout the rest of the body. Class is fucking dismissed. In all honesty, it's been a few years since I've taken that course. I might have gotten that entirely wrong. Maybe there's no blood in the heart at all. Maybe it's just emptiness. A hole. Something that we always try and fill, but always coming up short. Let him go, Owen Wilson. Had enough of this monkey business. The fuck? That looks like a disappointed father that just walked in on his daughter having sex on the couch. Oh man, this is emotional. I actually remember this part from the show. I don't remember it that well though, it's been a long time since I've seen it. Oh yikes. Oh shit, look who it is, it's Davy Jones. Oh no. Oh goodness me.
Armin, sumimasen. Hai. Anoto wa denwa bango nan desu ka?
That means, what's your telephone number? It's not really applicable to this situation, but it's basically all I remember from that fucking Japanese course I took in college. Eren Yeager! Yay. Arigatou gozaimasu!
Watashi wa denwa.
Means I am telephone.
Iie, Eren Yeageru. Iie.
That was emotional. That was some intense shit. Alright, I think this is a good stopping point. Alright, well that's the end of this video. Remember to rate the video, comment the video, and subscribe if you want to see videos similar to this one. See ya. Welcome to the Moist Meter. It's me, the avatar of Greece, the unshowered specimen of pure filth. Over 24 hours without a shower, feeling real stinky, delivering another anime Moist Meter, this time for Attack on Titan. Season 3 just ended, so I figured I'd do a Moist Meter for the whole show. I think Attack on Titan is a must-see anime, even if you don't like anime, or even cartoons. I remember when the first season came out back in college, my roommates, who never watched anime, they were way too cool, you know, I like football, I prefer the pigskin, not these fucking titties, cartoon 2D stuff. Then I'd come into the room and they're fucking watching Attack on Titan, embarrassed about it. Oh, bro, I was just flipping through the anime.com, fucking weirdos making fun of them. But what I'm saying is, it was a show that captured the audience that isn't just anime lovers. It was a season that was so good that the general populace really got drawn in. For a good reason, because it's almost a masterpiece. There's a lot of low points in season 1 in my opinion, but it's super fucking good. The animation in Attack on Titan seasons 1, 2, and 3 is a fucking stellar. Outstanding. The action scenes are the most stylish and beautiful in all of the currently airing anime. The animation is just leagues above others, and that's my biggest compliment to the show. It's so fucking great when you get this high octane, you know, fucking Spider-Manning around these
naked giants and then slashing their necks. It's so fucking fun to watch. And on top of that, the show has a fucking interesting story to tell, a really interesting story to tell. It doesn't always tell it very well, but the story is good enough, and they do a good enough job to keep me fucking scratching at my neck like a meth addict going through withdrawals, waiting for more answers to the questions it proposes. You always want to learn more about the universe in Attack on Titan and about the characters. I don't think all the characters are that great. I even think the main character, Eren Yeager, is a bit underwhelming. He does a lot of sulking and, self-pity. Oh, fuck, my dick's so small, I have to keep the lights off because girls will laugh at it. I'm just not good enough. Why was I chosen? I'm not worthy. And then I'll have like a eureka moment and get inspired. It's 3.5 inches of steel and bravery. It's enough penis for any girl. I am the one. I can do this. And then he goes and does his job. There's a lot of that, and I don't care for that much. So I think he's not a super great character overall. But there are a lot of good characters in here. I think Captain Levi, for example, is a fucking great character. Well-rounded, super fun to watch. It's a really good show overall. And a lot of those, pinky out, anime, Puritan nerd, soft dick in hand nerds like to criticize Attack on Titan and think anyone that likes it is some type of Cro-Magnon who has poor taste. But I don't understand why. The show is just really good. Even if you don't like anime, it's a really good show. Even if you don't like a good story, the action is really good and worth it to sit through the story. Now, that being said, there's a lot of exposition in the episodes, and that's kind of a negative. Even though I love the story, it's a bit of a negative because Season 3, for example, the one that just wrapped up, there was so few action scenes in here it was almost insulting. It seemed like it kind of forgot what kind of show it was. There's entire episodes where it takes place in like 3 rooms total, just talking back and forth. It's not exactly filler because you learn very important details about the characters of the story, but it's not super fun to watch either. You're just being lectured. It's like you're sitting in a college classroom learning about like microbiome or something. Now, that's not to say I think Season 3 is bad by any means, because I did enjoy it, but when you look back on Season 1, which had the perfect balance of a lot of really incredible jaw-dropping action and story, and then you look at Season 3 where it seems like they ran out of money and could only animate standing still, face scenes and mouth movements. It's sad, because you want more action, and there is some, and when it's there in Season 3, it's still really good. But you always want more. You want story with the action. That's what the show was built on. That's why Season 1 was such a huge success in every part of the world. That's why so many people that don't even like anime fell in love with it. It is just really fucking fun. But it's not fun to watch the characters just stand in a fucking football huddle, divulging information to each other. That's kind of boring to watch, and it's a bunch of flashbacks, which also are not that fun to watch. Season 2 also kind of fell victim to that, not as badly. I thought Season 2 was pretty strong, even though a lot of people disagreed. I thought it built up to something really big, and then that something really big happened at the end, and it was very worth it. Season 3 felt like it was building up to something really big, and then it just ended. It ended on a very slow episode. It ended on a cliffhanger at the end of the episode, which was kind of just upsetting, because I hate that kind of shit when you leave a cliffhanger like that, especially on the back of a boring episode. That's just kind of a slap in the face. But, and I understand why, because they divided the season in half. It's coming back in 6 months. I get it. It's not the end of Season 3. It's Season 3.5's coming up, but still, why? It's just not a very interesting way of concluding Season 3. And a lot of Season 3 was just not that fun to watch. The story's great, though, so learning more about it's always nice, but there had to be a better way of going about that instead of animating full episodes where nothing fucking happens except talking. But overall, I think Attack on Titan is an absolute must-see. It does a perfect balance of despair and hope. You get to see some really, horrific things, and you get to see some really impressive reactions from the characters that seem so lifelike. The facial expressions, the voice acting, all of it really sells the emotion of the show and makes it a very dark and sad story, and a very interesting one at that. And the action, I can't express enough how much fun it is to watch the action in here, and it's so beautifully animated. The sound, the music, the soundtrack, so fucking good, iconic even. So let's just go ahead and plug this shit into the moist meter. I'm giving Attack on Titan as a whole an 85%. I think it's a must-see. And I really wish Seasons 2 and 3 took some notes from the first season, which was executed so well, because Seasons 2 and 3, in my opinion, just weren't even close to as good. They're still good, I still enjoyed them, but they couldn't hold a candle to Season 1, the beauty of it, the grand scale of things, all the fun of it. But it is still absolutely worth watching, and I think the next season of Attack on Titan, the point 5 of season 3, is going to be fucking amazing. Because they've hyped it up for 13 episodes worth in this, pseudo season. So it's got to be a huge payoff, I would hope. So I'm excited for that, and I absolutely think Attack on Titan is a show you need to watch if you like anime, and even if you don't, because it's really fucking good. So yeah, welcome to the Moist Meter. Today we're taking a look at Attack on Titan's final season. I think this show is going to be up there with some of the big anime greats. This is a show that everyone talks about. It's one of the few shows that pretty much trends on Twitter every single new episode that airs. It's a show that has captured a lot of people, and rightfully so. I think it's a very unique show. Its storytelling, albeit at times a bit weak, is still overall really enjoyable. It tells a really compelling and interesting story. And I know that's like a controversial thing to say, but I really do think Attack on Titan has one of the better delivered stories in modern anime. I was pretty much glued to every fucking episode this season, getting answers to questions that we've had for years. Felt amazing. Watching, there are going to be a few spoilers here. I'm not going to spoil the whole season, but a few things I'm going to need to touch on for the review. Watching Eren's transformation into the big bad villain that he has become, a heartless, fucking ruthless man, has been really wild. I've followed the show every single time it's aired since it began. Season 1, I watched it week by week for the entire season 1, same with 2 and 3 and now 4. So I really feel like over the course of fucking almost, 8-9 years now, it's really been kind of growing with the characters, and seeing where they've been ending up in the final season has been absolutely wild. I think they've done a great job with developing a lot of these characters and really making you care, and even taking them down paths where you feel really bad for them, or there's just a lot of things that I think they've done great with its cast of characters and its overarching universe. The biggest change this season is, of course, with Eren. Eren has become like the fucking boogeyman of Attack on Titan. If you don't eat your vegetables, your parents tell you Eren Yeager is gonna visit you. Like, he has become an actual evil person. He's done some fucked up shit, murdering children for the sake of furthering his own goals. It's absolutely a huge change from the character that we've grown to know and love over the years. But I think it's a change that makes sense. I really think Eren ending up where he is right now is a natural development for the character. So I'm totally fine with him becoming a fucking cult leader of the Jaegerists, leading this crazy militia and that's doing their own thing, going against the grain here and going against their island. I'm trying not to get too deep into spoilers, obviously, but it's very huge change from the old Eren, and I think it's done really well. And I think it's very brave to take your main character down this path, because you risk people not being satisfied. You risk people being turned off by it, because I love the character how he was. So the fact that you've evolved him into something different is a big risk that I think a lot of shows are afraid to take, but I'm glad Attack on Titan does go down this path. There's a lot of moving parts to the Attack on Titan universe, and I like that. I really like how they balance all of these things and they deliver a really compelling narrative. And on top of that, Attack on Titan has really great action. Every time Levi's on screen chopping up Titans, it's fucking beautiful. He's doing some crazy acrobatic maneuvers with his mobility gear, going fucking wild. The show, I think, just has it all. There are weaker moments in the series. I can't in good conscience say that this show is perfect, because the only thing perfect is anything Brendan Fraser is in, and Brendan Fraser does not appear in this series, so I can't say that it's perfect and flawless, because there definitely are moments where you'd roll your eyes, or maybe you just get confused, or maybe the exposition dump goes on a little too long. Attack on Titan does have a few episodes where it is pretty much just exposition between two characters, or even just in the head of one character. There's a lot of moments in the series like that might turn people off if they're not drawn into the universe. But I really think overall Attack on Titan is an extremely solid show that lives up to the hype that it receives. I don't think it's overrated by any means. I know there's a lot of those big fucking Twitter hipsters. It's overrated. In fact, you should be watching this show that was made by a 4-year-old in Microsoft Paint. This is the better anime. I know there's a lot of that shit, but I really think Attack on Titan is up there with the hype. I don't think many people will be let down by the show. If you start it and get to the final season, I think there's a big payoff in watching where it is all going. I've really been blown away by the final season. I think it's been great. A lot of people were whining about CGI. The CGI is in Season 4 more than previous seasons, but it's not bad CGI. It's not janky Nintendo 64 cutscenes. It doesn't take you out or make you puke or make it any worse or anything like that. It doesn't detract from the enjoyment. It's put sparingly in places where there needs to be some movement, but they didn't have time to capture it with the full passion they've done with the other scenes in the show. So yes, the astute observer with a galaxy brain will notice some CGI in the season, but it really shouldn't ruin it for you. And if it does, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. You need to seek some help or something. It's pretty trivial. It's not consistent and constant and horrible, terrible, awful dog shit CGI. It's fine. So that shouldn't really be a chief complaint of the season. It's definitely not for me. The fight in Marley, I thought, was one of the best in the entire series. The entire Marley arc with Eren that is infiltrated, I thought was some of the hypest shit I've seen in the show. I think it was absolutely fantastic, executed beautifully with some really intense moments. Another thing I saw a lot of people whining and complaining about was Gabby as a character. And that's because Gabby does something to, I'm not going to spoil, but Gabby does something that a lot of people, fans of the series, didn't like. And I don't think it was bad or done poorly or anything. I actually think Gabby's a pretty strong character. She's like Eren's younger version, but from Marley. She's very similar to how old Eren was. The only thing that she thinks of is death to her enemies. Bringing death and destruction is the only way to be saved. Not too dissimilar from Eren. I really think Gabby was a very strong new character they introduced. Falco, I'm not too big on at the moment. He's not like a bad character or anything, but he just hasn't really had a chance to shine. I'm sure he probably evolves into a better character and a more important one later on, but for now he just seems like someone that gets fucking used as a fleshlight by everybody because he's the only one that seems to have a heart in the show. So right now, Falco doesn't really serve a purpose other than just get fucked up and used. But really, I just don't think there was a single bad moment in Season 4 at all. The only time where I found myself a little uninterested was when they were going over the Tibers, and that's only because they had just introduced this character and then exposition fucking diarrheaed about his past. But I ended up still liking him when he was on stage. Delivering a really important narrative piece about the history of the Titans. Like, it was really illuminating. It revealed a lot of important information. But that's like the only nitpicky one episode that I can even say had a slow part at all. Everything else I thought was great. I really, really was blown away by Season 4. If you've watched the show up until this point, I can't see how you'd be disappointed with Season 4. It's just fucking great. The only thing that I can maybe understand people being a little let down by is the fact that they're not out there just peeling dick off of Titans anymore. Like, they're not killing fucking thousands of Titans or getting killed by thousands of Titans like they used to. They've clearly mastered the art of killing Titans, and they're not as much of a threat. Like, they're just normal, standard, vanilla, bland, missionary-only kind of Titans. You don't see a whole lot of those being a threat like they used to be. And for some people, maybe that's a turnoff. But for me, I think it's a great evolution of the series. They've been fighting these things for fucking years. They've really learned a lot about the world in Season 4. So now the biggest enemies they face are other humans, as well as how these humans are using the Titans that are on their side. And it's just, I really, really, really fucking love Attack on Titan and the direction that it took. I couldn't be happier with the series. Plugging Attack on Titan into the Moist meter, I'm giving it a 90%. I really think this show is extremely strong, albeit, yes, there are flaws. I just can't imagine someone that doesn't at least enjoy the show. You know, maybe there's a few things you don't like about it, but overall, it's hard not to like the show. I think it's fucking beautiful. I think it is really well done, and I think it has a really unique story that it's telling in a very great way. So I'm a huge fan. Attack on Titan final season is an absolute banger, and yeah, that's about it.
Initiating moisture.
Attack on Titan, the final season, part 2, Turbo Mode Arcade Edition. It's all come to an end now, until part 3. So this is the final season, second part. It leads into the third part. I'm sure that's not a spoiler now since it's like the #1 thing on Twitter. By the time they actually finish the Attack on Titan story, it's going to be like the fucking Dragon Balls. There's going to be like 8 of these goddamn things, and you have to gather them all together for the complete season. Or it'd be like the fucking Horcruxes from Harry Potter, like 7 parts of this that, you know, all combined to form the complete package. And I won't even complain, because part 2 was extraordinary. I enjoyed every episode. I didn't think there was any, like, dog shitty moments in it or anything like that. As I've mentioned before, Attack on Titan is the only show ever that I've watched every single week since it started airing. I've watched every single episode the day that it aired, or at least within a couple days of it airing. I never fell behind and had to catch up. I never just waited for a season to end to binge it. I've watched it week by week since the very first episode. It's a show that I'm very invested in, and I think the whole final season, not just part 2, has just been amazing. Mappa's outdone themselves. I think the visuals have been outstanding. All of the action has been beautifully animated. They're using CGI really well, where it's not like glaringly obvious. It doesn't look like fucking 2001's Beast Wars or anything like a lot of other anime do when they introduce CGI, or it looks like an actual like Jimmy Neutron pilot from the late 90s because of the CGI shit. They do a great job of using CGI when necessary and not making it like obviously like bad. I just think they've done an outstanding job with the show, and I know the manga ended and the ending was very divisive in the community. The reception was super split. I haven't read the manga. I'm not trying to spoil myself for the show, but with the way parts 1 and 2 have gone so far, I can't imagine them fumbling the bag so hard or like blowing out their asshole where it just becomes super trash at the end. They're setting themselves up for like a really great conclusion, I feel, and hopefully this statement doesn't age like milk where it turns out it is an absolutely awful ending up there with like Promised Neverland Season 2 where it's just like a slideshow to finish it off or some shit. Then I'll just look silly for believing in them. I'll just be sitting here looking fucking stupid with my soft cock in hand like, well, this is what I get for dreaming, I suppose. I'm hoping it continues with this masterclass of storytelling and animation. And yes, I understand for a lot of people it's just shonen, so it's not meant to be like super profound or anything, but I just really think Attack on Titan transcends like that shonen barrier of storytelling where a lot of people look at it as childish. I think Attack on Titan does a great job of just making it enjoyable for anyone of any age. It just is a really fun show. Part 2, in particular, I think did a great job of presenting a lot of exposition without it ever feeling boring. Every episode had at least 1 or 2 moments where you're like actually shitting your diaper. You're like, oh my god, I can't believe that's happening right now. I don't want to get into any spoilers because I really think this is a must-watch show for anyone who's a fan of animation in any capacity. So I won't get into spoilers, but the transition of Eren from like a protagonist you root for to a character where you're like, damn, I don't know about that shit. It was one of my favorite things about Code Geass, where the protagonist becomes someone that you can't really root for anymore because they're making some decisions where it's like, damn, that shit's fucking evil. You know, and you never really know where their heart is or what their real motives are, and I really love that about, well, Code Geass and now Attack on Titan. I just find it to be a really interesting storytelling device. I really love that element of it, and I think Attack on Titan does it super well. In part 2 of this season, the characters go through true fucking despair. Pretty much every character here has to face some demons and make some really hard choices that have massive consequences. And there's a really compelling moment. Again, I don't want to get into spoilers. I would highly recommend watching it. Part 2, I think, has done a great job, and it's one of the few anime that I think really gets everyone together and talking because there's just so much to talk about. It's a show that just presents so many moving parts, and they all just kind of work and fall into place. I never really get the impression that things were just made up on the fly, that everything had a bigger purpose in the grand scheme of the narrative, and I think it's done great in the show. It's hard to talk about Attack on Titan without giving spoilers, but I really think it's for the best not to give any spoilers to anyone that hasn't seen the show, because it really is something pretty special if you ask me. I think this is one of those anime that people will look back on in 10 years and be like, damn, I remember where I was when Attack on Titan wrapped up. What a journey it was. I also think Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2 Revenge of the Sith A New Hope has the best opening in all of anime. And I don't say that lightly, but the rumbling from Sim is so good. I was already a fan of Sim before this, and this is probably their best song. It is so good. This shit just slaps so hard. It is probably just a little bit better than Vinland Saga's opening from Survive Said the Prophet, which was my previous favorite anime opening. This one I never skipped. I was always just fucking jamming out. It was an absolute boner jam. It really was. So great work from Sim here with the rumbling. There was just nothing I disliked about the part 2 of the final season here. There wasn't any like particular moments or episodes or any decisions they made that I thought were weak. I just thought everything they did was a great and logical progression of the characters and the plot. And it took me on a fucking ride, and I enjoyed every second of it. So, plugging Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2 into the Moist Meter, I'm giving it a 95%. Like I said, I think the show is really a must-watch. Again, it's not going to be like the most thought-provoking piece of media of all time, and I don't think it's trying to be. It does enough to transcend like just childish shonen action. It presents you with a really interesting narrative with really interesting characters and presented beautifully from Mappa's animation that I really think it can just be enjoyed by everyone. It doesn't have to be like a game-changing piece of, timeless fiction, but right now I just think it's like a really enjoyable and fun adventure to go on that'll constantly have you guessing and on the edge of your seat for where everything ends up. So I enjoyed it, and that's about it. So yeah. I'm neither ashamed nor embarrassed to admit this. Attack on Titan is a show that's actually pretty special to me. This is the only show I've ever watched as the episodes rolled out from start to finish. Well, soon to be finished. I started watching the show right when it aired back in 2013, and I've followed it ever since. As the episodes rolled right out of the oven nice and fresh with steam still on them, I watched every single episode every week that it was airing. And I've never done that for any show besides this one, at least not for this length of time. Even my favorite show of all time, Breaking Bad, I didn't watch as it aired. I didn't watch that show until it had already finished. And I did it on a whim. I just kind of shrugged my shoulders like, how good could it be? And then I went and binged all of it in a matter of like 3 days. I know it's kind of like admitting to like an unforgivable sin not watching that show like as it came out and being involved in the hype. But it is what it is. Don't fuck me for it. Code Geass, my favorite anime, another case of I didn't watch it till it finished. It's just, this is the only show, which is wild to think about. It has been 10 years of watching Attack on Titan, and what an absolutely extraordinary journey it has been. It was pretty much a massive success right away, like an overnight mainstream hit, and back in 2013 that wasn't super common. Even back then, your big anime were still like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, but Attack on Titan hit the scene and immediately blew people's asses out, just like prolapses across the country as people were talking about Attack on Titan. And I imagine for a lot of people that was their first exposure to anime. I know it was for my roommates back in college. Like, it was a big super success, and it's only grown into the massive behemoth that it is today. And it's just been an extraordinary journey. Now, pardon me, you're entering the splash zone. I'm about to go gushing grannies here because I really do love the show, and it's wrapping up. I'm sure all of you know Attack on Titan's actual final season is airing right now, or the first part of it has dropped, and then the second part is going to be the ending. So they divided the ending into 2 parts. The first one just dropped. This is like my only complaint, by the way. Like, my only major complaint is the way they're handling this. I hate the way they've named these fucking seasons. Like, they had Attack on Titan the final season part 1, which then had a lot of parts to it. And then they had Attack on Titan final season part 2, part 3, and then Attack on Titan final chapters, Turbo Edition, Arcade, XL, Double Magnum. Like, the way they are naming these seasons is beyond convoluted. They had shit like season 4, the final season, part 1, and then 2 parts to that part. So it'd be part 1, and part 2 of part 1. And then now, season 4, season 4, part 3, and what we just watched, what just dropped was part 1 of part 3 of season 4's final season, which means now part 2 will be coming out later, which is the actual ending. It's fucking dumb, is what I'm saying. There was no reason to name it this way. It just made it really messy, muddy, and just absolute goddamn headache. Like, you could have just called it season 4, right? And they left it at that. You never had to put final season there and associate it with like final, because it wasn't. It was leading up to the finale, which is what's coming out now. What just dropped could be final part 1 and then final part 2. Like, that'd be a lot easier. But anyway, I'm done ranting about that. It's a super silly decision from the naming department there. Big L on naming. But everything else is a fat fucking W. I want to spend this video kind of going over my entire perspective on Attack on Titan, but I want to briefly give you a quick review of the first part of the finale that just dropped this week. It fucking slaps. I don't understand how Mappa is able to continuously churn out this level of quality of anime with how many projects they take on. They legitimately say yes to more projects than fucking Netflix does. If I was to make a flip book right now and say, you know what, I want this to be an anime, Mappa would probably take on that project and make it look like it would cost $50 million to produce. It is crazy, the quality that they are able to achieve. This is no exception. It is absolutely stunning. And they do use CGI. And they do a great job of integrating it with the anime. A lot of people like to shit on CGI. They start getting into these debates. It's a lot of brouhaha, CGI doesn't belong in anime, it ruins it. I just totally disagree. A lot of anime that has used CGI in the past uses it terribly, and it's dog shit. It looks awful. It's just an eyesore. Mappa does a great job of weaving it beautifully into the piece. And that is very much alive and well in the finale part 1 here. There's a lot of moments of CG, but it still looks great. It doesn't take away from it. It doesn't ruin the experience at all. It is still great to look at. And my god, is it hype. Like I said, I don't want to spoil anything about the finale here, but there is some important moments, especially with a character death, that I think is handled in such an incredibly thrilling way. There's a background track playing. It's a great song as they're just going hog wild, killing titans. It's fucking full throttle, high octane action. And it's just a great send-off to the character. And that's, of course, not the only moment. It's Attack on Titan. That's far from the only death. But I wanted to highlight that because that's something I always appreciate in anime. The ability to make a character death actually fulfilling and satisfying, and making it a moment that makes sense, where it's not just like, we're going to kill this character because we're trying to subvert your expectations. We don't want to get comfortable, so we got to shock you. This is a decision a character makes that is totally logical, and they're a fucking hero for it. And they handle it really well. And I also really like the song that's playing in the background. I love those moments in anime where they have like this fucking track playing. The lyrics are going wild as the characters fighting for their life in a really like big frenzy. It's so cool. It's really great. There's nothing that I disliked about the finale part 1 here. Now, of course, I haven't read the manga. I've actually stopped myself from reading the manga multiple times over the years because I want to experience it in the show first. I do know that the reception to the manga's ending was extremely mixed. I have a good idea on how this wants to wrap itself up, and if I'm right, I won't be disappointed if it goes in that direction, though I could see why others would be. And I just want to put that out there because since we're talking about the finale to Attack on Titan, it would be a disservice not to mention that. I know there were a lot of people that weren't super satisfied. I don't know the ending myself right now. I'm going to keep myself spoiler free as much as possible. But I do think I know how this is going to conclude. And if it does do it the way I think it will, I won't be one of those people that think it sucks. But we'll see. Maybe it's different than I'm anticipating, and maybe I won't like it. But right now, I fucking love where it's going. I love where the finale leaves off. It's a great cliffhanger that makes me super excited for the second part to drop. And there's never a dull moment in this. This is an hour long, the finale part 1. It's an hour long, and it went by so quick. When it was over, I felt like I had just sat down for like 10 minutes. It was just so much going on, and it was so good. I don't know, I just really fucking loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Attack on Titan is really a show that I feel everyone can find something to like in, even if you're not like a shonen fan. I feel like it offers an extremely unique and fun story that's not afraid to get gruesome and not afraid to kill off beloved characters. It's not afraid to do a lot of things most other anime shy away from. And I appreciate that. Of course, it still has its tropiness, it still has some cliches and some silly shit, but overall, it's just a really well-written story with characters that are super, like, fleshed out with a lot of depth. The story's gone in directions I would have never been able to predict or anticipate, especially from season 1. I really thought this was just going to be some standard shonen whose claim to fame was creative and beautifully animated action. Season 1 had a lot of great fights, and it still does. Like, it still has amazing action, don't get me wrong. But, like, right now, the main thing I really appreciate from Attack on Titan is its characters and its story. In Season 1, there was a lot of emotional moments, but the main thing people remember is the ODM gear and how fun that was to watch them fucking zip around and slash the necks off of these giant monster titans. It was fucking awesome, and it is still super cool to see that. That has still not lost its charm. But as the show's developed, so too has the characters and even the action, because now they've introduced a lot of titans that fight each other. I'm not going to get into spoilers for what dropped just now, but I am going to get into spoilers for the previous seasons, because fucking obviously. So after introducing like the Attack Titan, Armor Titan, and all of that, we got to see more than just the ODM gear. We got to see Titans fighting other Titans, and that's led to a lot of other really creative fights, such as in the last season with Eren versus the Warhammer Titan. All of these moments are just so beautifully animated too. It's a show where it's clear a ton of blood, sweat, tears, and just pure passion gets poured into it. There's just never been a time where Attack on Titan looked bad. There's plenty of things I can understand people like not liking about certain aspects of it, but on the whole, It's a show whose quality has never really wavered, and it's always maintained this extreme level of polish and beauty to it, at least visually. And I really do feel like it presents one of the most compelling narratives I've seen in a long time from anime. I can't get over it because it does something that I always love, making the main character slowly turn into the bad guy. Someone that you start feeling guilty if you're rooting for them. Code Geass is my favorite anime, and it does something very similar with Lelouch. In the beginning, you're pumping your fist. Yeah, Lelouch, man, there's so much fucking trash out there. You know, let's make it better. You're doing great, Lelouch. Oh, yeah, keep clapping cheeks out there, brother. And eventually, he starts doing some real fuck shit and making some truly evil decisions. And you start to wonder, is this a bad guy? Is this the villain now? And as it continues, you keep asking that question until you get to the point where it's like, yep, this is pretty unforgivable shit. But they do a good job of slowly building that up and even giving you reasons why what they're doing is almost justifiable and makes sense that it might even be for the greater good. In Code Geass is what I'm still talking about. Attack on Titan tackles something very similar with its main character, Eren Yeager. He went from the protagonist, he's the Attack Titan, and like a righteous kid. Like, he's always looking out to try and, you know, make sure his comrades are safe, protecting everyone. Just very cliche anime good guy. My friends are the most important thing in the world. We can do anything with the power of friendship. Friendship punch. That kind of shit. But as the show's continued, he's become much less of the good guy, and now he is the main antagonist. Eren Yeager is the ultimate bad guy. He is a genocidal maniac. He is committing mass murder on a global scale with the Rumbling. He now commands an unstoppable force of these colossal titans that nobody has the equipment or the power necessary to deal with. So he is literally trampling all of humanity from outside, all of humanity outside the walls. So he's not the good guy. You can't root for him, but they've built that up slowly, and it wasn't just like this flip of a switch like Game of Thrones Season 8 where Daenerys just starts burning everyone to death like, I guess I'll be evil now. This was slowly built up and really feels very natural for the character. Like, his reasoning, you can almost rationalize too. His entire race, the Eldians, were treated like devils, isolated to this, you know, complete podunk corner of the world, behind these walls, cut off from the rest of civilization for 100 years. And now he just bears all of this hatred from the world that the world put onto them. He is now the embodiment of that hatred and is projecting it out against the rest of them in order to protect his group, the Eldians, the ones behind the walls. So, like, it's terrible what he's doing, but he does have his own reasons for it. Of course, it's not, like, a great reason for actual genocide, but it's, of course, a reason, one that's not just, like, cartoonishly evil, twirling his mustache like, I just want humanity to die. I just really appreciate what they've done with his character in particular. They've done a great job with all the characters, but that is always something I can commend. It's such a big risk to take. Your main character, the protagonist, and making them the bad guy eventually. It's just such a bold move. Like, that shit is a Hail Mary, and if you flop around, you waffle about, you start to fuck it up, then you ruin the entire experience and everyone hates it. But luckily that's not the case here. And every character gets moments to shine, which is beyond impressive. Even characters who in the beginning were very minor characters got blown into these big roles. Like, they took on these huge responsibilities and shined. And characters that seemed like they were going to be there for the long haul died. But they didn't just die in like pathetic, wimpy, weak, not satisfying ways. They go out like fucking heroes. And it's, like I said, it's a show that wasn't afraid to take those risks. My favorite character in the show is Erwin. Erwin died quite some time ago. He hasn't been in this in years now. But his presence is still felt. They still talk about him. He still had an incredible impact, even currently, on where this story has unfolded. And that's something that just very few things can do. Usually when a character dies, their influence is no longer felt, and they just kind of, peter out, just kind of fizzle away. But not in this show. Characters are still referenced, and they are still integral to the development of the characters that are still alive, and they carry on certain things from the deceased ones. It's just beautiful. I really think it's just a masterpiece of anime. I can't talk highly enough about it. But anyway, I think I've sucked the show's dick enough by now, so I'll go ahead and just leave it at that. If you haven't seen Attack on Titan, I do highly recommend it, and I really liked the finale part 1, and am super excited for the second part. That's about it. See ya. After 10 years, it's finally concluded. The Attack on Titan series finale just aired last night, and as I've mentioned in the past, this is one of the only shows I've ever watched week by week as it aired during its seasons. It started when I was a young virgin male in college going through my own mysterious anime character phase where I have no doubt I frightened all of my peers into thinking I was some unhinged psychopath. And now a decade later I've shed that skin. I'm no longer a young virgin male. I'm an elder sexual deity. Man, what a journey it's been. You're not going to believe me, but I was actually able to avoid all of the spoilers for this ending, which is no easy task. That's like trying to dodge the rain during a thunderstorm. But I did it, and I deserve to be knighted for that achievement. There were so many people that were trying to spoil this for everybody, just a lot of people shaking their fist, bah humbug, I didn't like the manga ending, so now I want to make sure everyone who only watches the anime is ruined for it. And douchey, of course, but not unexpected, it happens all the time. I did not know the ending, luckily. All I knew is that there were a ton of people that were extremely dissatisfied with the way that it wrapped up in the manga, and that of course made me very worried about how the anime would stick the landing, or if it would just fumble and flop like a lot of other anime endings. But I'm happy to say that this was a beautifully fitting ending. I don't think it was perfect, there are still a few criticisms I have of it, but overall I think it is an incredibly strong finish to what I believe is a masterpiece of a show. Not just a masterpiece of anime, a masterpiece of a show in general. I really hold this series in high regard, and I am so satisfied with the way that it completes itself here. And it makes me wonder, what the fuck went wrong in the manga? Was the community just smoking on stupid juice or something? On that Scooby-Doo dick kush? Like, I don't understand exactly what they didn't like about the ending, because I went back and checked. Apparently the ending in the manga is pretty similar to the ending in the anime that just aired, only the anime had a couple of tweaks, a couple of additions, and a few minor adjustments, but nothing major. The story beats are still, for the most part, the same from what I can tell. So why were people pissing and shitting over the manga ending? It's a good, satisfying conclusion. The only theory I can formulate up here in my smooth little brain is that people just wanted a 100% happy ending where everyone wins, it's all sunshine and rainbows, and the world is perfect. And that would never be the case in a series like this. If they did go that direction with a happy ending, it would ruin Attack on Titan. It would run counter to everything that this series has propped up and framed. And I am so glad they didn't take that easy cop-out method, because they did have a chance. With the way, I don't want to get into spoilers here, but they did have the opportunity to just pull their punch and say, actually, everyone's okay, everything's great, happy ending, wee, woohoo. And I'm so glad they didn't do that. Like, this is not a story that deserved a happy ending. This is one that needed a grim but hopeful ending. Something the show has driven home time and time again. That no matter what you do, there will always be conflict, but there can also always be hope. And I love the way that they finish on that note. You can boil it down even simpler into basically, war never changes, humans are just predisposed to it, no matter how large the conflict is, no matter how great the resolution is, or how long the period of peace is, it's only a matter of time until the cycle starts over again, which is what the post-credits scene alludes to in the finale as well. I just think it is a beautiful, beautiful piece. I think it is an extraordinary work. Now, I do want to talk about it, but I don't want to give too many spoilers, but there's no way I can talk about it without at least slapping my feet around in the spoiler pool. I can't tiptoe around a lot of the things I want to talk about, so this is your spoiler warning here. Proceed with caution, bitch. So, anyway, everything this show has done up till this point, I think has been executed perfectly. The slow transition of Eren from the hero everyone roots for with a very simple shonen goal of I want to kill every Titan so the world is safe, and to take an idea that simple of I want to kill every Titan so the world and my friends are safe, and to morph it into what he's become here with basically a genocidal maniac is so incredibly risky, but done so well that I think it is probably the best example I've ever seen of a hero falling from grace. And the way the finale handles this character, Eren Yeager, it blew my mind. So, this entire last season, leading up to this as well, Eren has become kind of like this cold, calculating monster who's going to destroy the entire world so that way his friends are safe and the people he cares about are safe. He deduces the only way to keep his people alive is by killing everybody else, basically. So that way, there's no one left, thus there's no war, there's no one to attack them anymore. And at its core, that is the exact same idea he had when he was a child. Kill all the Titans. But over time, it changes into kill everyone because it's the only way to keep the people I care about safe. He is still a raging child, fundamentally, with the same goals. And in the finale, we finally get to see him, without the mask on. He no longer has that facade of being a stoic, uncaring menace. We get to see him break down, cry, and we get the whole kit and caboodle. When Armin talks to him, Eren reveals that he is still just a fucking idiot that found a lot of power. He even says that word. He says he is a garden variety idiot who fell into a lot of power. And the only answer he has to any of the problems in the world is rage. He says that he is a slave to freedom. He can't escape his very nature, which is just a dumb idiot whose only answer to anything is violence. He never changed. He has always been a kid, basically, who is having a temper tantrum, but he gets so much power that that temper tantrum changes the entire world. And I've seen a bit of criticism over that scene, like, why would Eren start crying? This goes so against this character. And it's like you're not even watching the show, or you're watching it with just your brain turned off and clapping at all the flashy animation. Like, this is very in line with his character from the very beginning. He is the only character in the show that just doesn't change at all. His number one priority in the world was the protection and safety of his friends, but he even admits in the finale that he got so lost and his brain so messed up from all of this power that he wasn't even sure if his friends were going to survive, to which he had so much regret. But one thing that I found extremely interesting here, and I can't help but draw a mirror to my favorite anime, well, what was my favorite anime, I think Attack on Titan is now going to be my favorite, because I really do think they did nail the ending, Code Geass. Code Geass ends, this is big spoilers, Code Geass ends with our main character Lelouch being the ultimate villain, the biggest villain the world has ever seen, and he allows a symbol of hope to kill him. It was all part of his plan. Him and his best friend Suzaku, who is now wearing the original disguise of Zero, who becomes a symbol of hope, stabs Lelouch publicly in front of everyone, killing him, thus ending the evil, this cycle of hatred. Right then and there, hope prevails, and Zero is the hero, basically. In Attack on Titan, Eren had a similar motive that he unveils to Armin at the end. He wanted to be the ultimate evil, which he was. He destroyed 80% of humanity in the fucking rumbling, literally trampling them under his feet. And he wanted Armin and Mikasa, all of them, to kill him so that they would be the heroes. They would be the most important people in history because they stopped Eren Yeager, the ultimate destroyer. And I just thought that was so beautiful. And it draws an obvious comparison to the way Code Geass ends, in my opinion. But I really think they fucking nailed that concept. And it's not like it came out of nowhere. That does feel like something Eren would want to do. And then when he gets all of this power, he mentions that his mind is scrambled. It's a mess. Because with the power he has, he sees the past and the future all happening simultaneously. And it leads to him basically being this puppet master that makes sure that the future plays out the way that he's experiencing it in his head. And he says he's tried so many times to change things, but it always plays out exactly the same. It's a really interesting explanation for how things work, but it does bring me to a criticism I have of it. The way they execute this exposition, I think, is way too jumpy. They jump all over the place abruptly. So it happens during a very climactic moment in the finale, and then it immediately starts jumping to start piecing together the puzzle of what the fuck is actually happening in terms of Aaron's motivation, in terms of Ymir, in terms of everything overarching in the world, how it all takes form and shape. And I don't really like how much it jumps around. I think there definitely could have been a smoother way of doing it, so that way it wouldn't be as convoluted. Of course, it was always going to be a little complicated because of just how big the story is with so many moving parts. But I think by having it jump from different time periods, like Armin and Eren as kids, and now all of a sudden here's like an alternate reality that could have happened with Mikasa and Eren, instead of just jumping all over the place, if they had just streamlined that a little bit more to feed you these explanations, I think it would have just gone over better and would have led to a little bit less confusion. But it's not the biggest deal in the world. It's actually very aesthetically pleasing, and it's pretty beautiful, a lot of the places they revisit while doing this exposition. But I just think that it led to a little more confusion than it needed to. Now, while I do think it is a little hard to follow with all the jumpiness, what they actually deliver is extraordinary. So I mentioned that alternate timeline with Mikasa and Eren, and I think that is such an important thing that a lot of people are overlooking. So basically what happened in one timeline, Mikasa confessed her love to Eren, and it causes him to abandon the rumbling, no longer going scorched earth, and instead the two run away to a cabin to spend the last 4 years of Eren's life together. And what this showcases is that, well, Eren obviously saw what has and will happen, but Mikasa confessing her love is enough to get him to not go through with it. But by not going through with it, it doesn't stop death, destruction, and ruin from happening. It still happens, but Eren's not the one doing it, it's Marley. The choice was basically Eren commit genocide and save the people that he cares about, or do nothing, go live with Mikasa in a cabin, and let Marley commit genocide, and now the people he cares about are the victims. And they prop up so many mirrors to previously very important moments in the show during these sequences, and it's so unbelievably fucking beautiful and well done. It really is. But the important thing that this sequence highlights is that Mikasa not confessing her love to Eren is what allows him to go through with the rumbling, but he only ever had two choices, basically. Either he commits genocide or Marley, and the thing that basically decides that is whether or not Mikasa tells him that she loves him. So it just highlights the importance of her keeping her feelings to herself, because then Eren goes through with this plan. I don't want to get hung up just breaking down each incredible scene here, but I'll go ahead and summarize. I think what Attack on Titan has done is something incredibly special that puts it up there with probably one of my favorite stories ever told in general. Again, this isn't just exclusive to anime, this is one of my favorite stories ever told. And the anime from start to finish, I think, encapsulates everything beautifully. Even if you just like action, Attack on Titan delivers in a big way. The finale has some of the best action sequences in the entire show. In the finale, while they're fighting on the back of Eren, there's every other generation of Titan that's ever really existed, pretty much, getting thrown into the mix and fighting off our characters to protect them. It's really great fighting. It's beautifully animated. They didn't cut any corners. I love that. But it's more than just action. Attack on Titan just offers a really thought-provoking piece in a very, very beautifully constructed world filled with interesting characters. I love what they've done with it. And also the music to accompany everything from the very beginning of the show has been extraordinary, top-notch. In the finale, it's the same. Great soundtrack. It's just such banger, boner jam after boner jam. I think Attack on Titan is probably my favorite anime now. It's able to dethrone Code Geass, which has been my favorite for a very long time, but I am comfortable in saying that now at the very top for me is Attack on Titan. It's a show that means a lot to me. Again, this is one of the only shows I've ever watched like week by week as it's aired during its seasons, and now that it's concluded, it feels a little weird. Knowing that there's not going to be Attack on Titan, the final season, part 3.5, final chapters, part 1 of the final series, or whatever other wild naming scheme they would have come up with, it feels like a little upsetting. I've never really had that feeling of when you finish a really good series where you're like left a little upset about it. But now I get it. Like, seeing that this is concluded now is bittersweet, because I think it's a great, fitting, beautiful ending to an extraordinary show. But damn, you just always want more, I guess. But yeah, overall, I think this is a must watch. I really do. I think even if you're not an anime fan, Attack on Titan is an absolute must watch series. It's so fucking good, and I'm extremely pleased with the ending. I don't know what all the hubbub was about with the manga ending. Maybe they really made some missteps somewhere in there, but whatever missteps there were in the manga, they are not present in the anime. I can say that with confidence. So yeah, anyway, that's really about it. So yeah.